On a crisp December morning, the town of Willow Creek was buzzing with the festive spirit. Holiday lights twinkled on every corner, and the scent of freshly baked cinnamon rolls wafted from the cafe near the town square. The snow-covered streets were alive with the laughter of children building snowmen, while shopkeepers busily arranged colorful displays in their windows, hoping to attract last-minute shoppers. Among the cheerful chaos, a young boy named Ethan scurried down the icy sidewalk, his scarf flapping wildly in the chilly wind. At just 10 years old, Ethan had a singular mission that morning: to buy the perfect gift for his mom. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Ethan's mother, Lisa, had been his rock since his father passed away when he was only 4. She worked long hours as a nurse, her days filled with selflessness and tireless effort. This Christmas, Ethan wanted to do something truly special for her, something that would make her feel as cherished as she made him feel every single day. With $10 in his pocket, savings from months of mowing lawns and doing odd jobs for neighbors, Ethan felt a mix of excitement and determination. His small hands clutched the crumpled bill tightly as he pushed open the door to the treasure chest, the quaint little gift shop nestled at the heart of town. The warmth of the shop enveloped Ethan immediately, a welcome reprieve from the biting cold outside. The cozy space was packed with trinkets and treasures, from sparkling jewelry to hand-carved wooden figurines. Soft holiday music played in the background, and a Christmas tree adorned with delicate glass ornaments stood in the corner, its lights casting a gentle glow. Ethan's eyes darted around, searching for something that would stand out, something his mom would love. "Can I help you, young man?" asked Mrs. Thornton, the kind elderly shopkeeper, her round glasses perched at the edge of her nose. "I'm looking for a gift for my mom," Ethan replied earnestly, his voice tinged with both excitement and nervousness. "Something really special," Mrs. Thornton smiled warmly, leading Ethan toward a small display of delicate silver necklaces. "These are quite popular," she said. "Each one has a different charm: a heart, a star, a flower." Ethan studied the necklaces carefully, his brow furrowed in concentration. His gaze fell on one with a small, intricately designed locket in the shape of a rose. It was simple yet elegant, and he could already picture the smile on his mom's face when she saw it. "This one," he said, pointing to the locket. Mrs. Thornton nodded approvingly and carefully placed the necklace in a small velvet pouch. "That'll be $15, dear." Ethan's heart sank. $15. He only had 10. His fingers fidgeted with the money in his pocket as he tried to think of a way to make up the difference. He opened his mouth to explain his predicament, but before he could speak, the chime above the door jingled, and a tall figure stepped inside. The room seemed to shrink as the man entered. He was massive, his broad shoulders almost brushing the doorframe. He wore a black leather jacket, a gray hoodie underneath, and dark jeans. His presence was commanding yet somehow warm, like the reassuring weight of a heavy blanket. Ethan blinked in astonishment. There, standing in the middle of the treasure chest, was none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Ethan wasn't the only one who noticed. Mrs. Thornton gasped, her hands fluttering to her mouth. A couple browsing nearby dropped their scarves, their jaws hanging open. Even the holiday music seemed to fade into the background as everyone stood frozen, staring at the Hollywood megastar who had somehow found his way into their tiny town. "Hey, everybody," Dwayne said, his deep voice carrying a friendly tone as he waved. "Hope I'm not interrupting. Just looking for a quick gift." Mrs. Thornton, still in shock, managed to stammer, "Oh, of course. Welcome to my shop, Mr. Johnson." Ethan, meanwhile, could hardly contain himself. His 10-year-old brain was racing. Was this real? Was the Rock really standing a few feet away? And then, almost as if the universe had aligned in his favor, Dwayne's eyes fell on Ethan. "Hey there, buddy," Dwayne said, smiling as he walked over. "What's your name?" "Ethan," the boy stammered, his cheeks turning bright red. I was just buying a gift for my mom." Dwayne crouched down to Ethan's level, his massive frame making the boy feel even smaller. "That's awesome, Ethan. Moms deserve the best, don't they?" Ethan nodded vigorously, his earlier disappointment momentarily forgotten. "I picked this locket," he said, showing Dwayne the velvet pouch. "But I don't have enough money." Dwayne glanced at the necklace and then back at Ethan. There was a flicker of something in his eyes. Understanding, perhaps. Or maybe a memory of a time when he, too, had wanted to do something special for someone he loved, but had been held back by circumstances. "Tell you what, buddy," Dwayne said, his voice warm and steady. "How about I cover the rest? Consider it my Christmas gift to you and your mom." Ethan's eyes widened in disbelief. "Really? You'd do that?" "Of course," Dwayne said, standing up and pulling out his wallet. "Christmas is all about giving, right?" Mrs. Thornton, who had been watching the exchange with misty eyes, quickly rang up the necklace. Dwayne handed over the money and then turned back to Ethan, placing a large, comforting hand on the boy's shoulder. "Make sure you tell your mom how much she means to you when you give this to her, okay?" "I will," Ethan promised, clutching the velvet pouch tightly. "Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson." Dwayne chuckled. "You can call me Dwayne, kid." As Ethan prepared to leave, feeling like he was walking on air, Dwayne called out to him. "Wait a second, Ethan. You mind if we take a quick picture? Your mom might like to see who helped with the gift." Ethan's grin stretched from ear to ear as he nodded. Mrs. Thornton, still beaming, grabbed her phone and snapped a photo of the two. Dwayne even gave a signature eyebrow raise for the shot, making Ethan laugh. When Ethan finally stepped outside, the cold air nipping at his face, he felt as though nothing could bring him down. The locket in his pocket felt like the most precious thing in the world, and he couldn't wait to see his mom's reaction. As he made his way home, he replayed the events in his head, hardly believing his luck. Meanwhile, back in the shop, Dwayne continued browsing, taking time to chat with Mrs. Thornton and the other customers, spreading his warmth and humor. He eventually picked out a small gift for his own mother, sharing a story about how she always reminded him to stay grounded no matter how big his career got. That night, as snow fell softly outside, Ethan handed his mom the small, neatly wrapped box. Lisa's eyes sparkled with surprise and emotion as she opened it, revealing the beautiful rose-shaped locket inside. When Ethan showed her the picture of him and Dwayne Johnson, she gasped, her hands flying to her mouth in astonishment. "Ethan, this is incredible," she said, pulling him into a tight hug. "You didn't have to do all this." "I wanted to, Mom," Ethan said, his voice muffled against her shoulder. "You do so much for me. I just wanted to show you how much I love you." Tears glistened in Lisa's eyes as she held the locket close to her heart. "I love it, Ethan. And I love you more than anything." For Ethan, it was a Christmas he would never forget. Not just because of the gift or the chance encounter with a superstar, but because of the joy he saw on his mom's face. And for Lisa, the locket wasn't just a beautiful piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of her son's love, a reminder of how deeply they were connected. In the days that followed, word of Dwayne Johnson's visit spread through Willow Creek like wildfire. People marveled at his generosity and kindness. But for Ethan, the real magic was in the memories he'd created with his mom. That small moment in the treasure chest had turned an ordinary day into an extraordinary story, one they would cherish forever. And somewhere in the twinkling town, under the glow of Christmas lights, the spirit of giving and love shone a little brighter that year. As the days passed and the Christmas season gave way to the quiet lull of January, Ethan's world still glowed with the magic of that unforgettable encounter. For most people in Willow Creek, the visit from Dwayne Johnson was a thrilling anecdote they would recount at dinner parties and family gatherings for years to come. But for Ethan, the story ran deeper. The locket, the picture, and Dwayne's words of encouragement had ignited something in him, a spark of confidence and hope he'd never felt before. Though he was only 10, Ethan had always been introspective, often carrying the weight of his father's absence and his mom's long work hours on his small shoulders. Yet something about that day in the treasure chest reminded him that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple outward in profound ways. It wasn't just about the locket or Dwayne covering the extra cost. It was about the way a stranger could step into your life, however briefly, and remind you of the importance of connection. One quiet Saturday morning, as snow blanketed Willow Creek once more, Ethan sat at the small kitchen table with a notebook in front of him. He had taken to writing down his thoughts and dreams, something his mom had encouraged him to do when he felt overwhelmed or inspired. Today, his pencil moved with determination as he scribbled out his latest idea, a series of kind acts he could do for the people in his town. After all, if someone as busy and famous as Dwayne Johnson could take a moment to brighten someone's day, then surely Ethan could too. His goal was simple. He wanted to surprise Mrs. Thornton with a thank you card. She had been so patient and kind that day in the shop, even before Dwayne arrived, and Ethan felt she deserved a little recognition. He pulled out a pack of colored pencils and got to work, carefully drawing a picture of her shop on the front of the card. Inside, he wrote a heartfelt message thanking her for her warmth and for making everyone feel special during the holiday season. When Ethan delivered the card later that afternoon, Mrs. Thornton's eyes filled with tears. She hugged him tightly and promised to frame the card in her shop. "Kindness is like a seed," she said softly, her voice trembling with emotion. "You plant it, and it grows into something beautiful." Encouraged by her reaction, Ethan decided to keep his project going. Over the next few weeks, he found small ways to bring joy to others. He shoveled snow off his elderly neighbor Mr. Harper's driveway without being asked. He helped Mrs. Castillo from down the street carry her groceries when her hands were full. At school, he made an effort to befriend a shy new student named Ava, who had just moved to Willow Creek and seemed lost during recess. Each time he did something kind, he felt a warm sense of fulfillment, as if he were adding small but meaningful sparks to the world around him. Ethan's mom noticed the change in her son, too. While he had always been a thoughtful boy, there was now a new energy in his steps, a lightness in his demeanor. She often caught him humming softly as he worked on little projects or read quietly in the corner. One evening, as they sat together on the couch watching a movie, she turned to him and said, "You've grown so much, Ethan. I'm so proud of the young man you're becoming." Ethan beamed at her words, his heart swelling with pride. "It's all because of that day, Mom," he said earnestly. "When Dwayne helped me, I realized how much even small things can matter. I want to keep doing good things for people." Lisa smiled and ruffled his hair, her eyes misty. "You already do, sweetheart, every single day." The story of Ethan's kindness began to spread through the town, just as the story of Dwayne Johnson's visit had. People in Willow Creek started to take notice of the boy who always seemed eager to lend a helping hand. Mr. Harper told everyone at the local diner about how Ethan had cleared his driveway without expecting anything in return. Mrs. Castillo mentioned how he'd appeared out of nowhere to help her with her bags, and Ava's parents expressed gratitude for how Ethan had made their daughter feel welcome at school. As the weeks turned into months, Ethan's small acts of kindness began to inspire others in the town. The barista at the cafe started offering free hot chocolates to children on snowy days. A group of teenagers organized a coat drive for families in need. Even the usually grumpy postman, Mr. Griggs, was seen helping an elderly woman cross the street with a rare smile on his face. Willow Creek was becoming a town transformed, its residents bound together by the simple yet powerful force of kindness. And at the heart of it all was a boy with a notebook full of ideas and a heart full of determination. But the story didn't end there. One sunny afternoon in late spring, Ethan and his mom received a letter in the mail. It was addressed to both of them with no return address. Intrigued, Lisa opened it while Ethan peered over her shoulder. Inside was a neatly folded piece of stationery, and at the top, in bold handwriting, were the words, "From Dwayne." Ethan's eyes widened as his mom began to read aloud. "Dear Ethan and Lisa, I just wanted to take a moment to check in and say hello. Ethan, I've been thinking about the day we met at the treasure chest, and how determined you were to get that gift for your mom. I hope she loved it, though I'm sure she did because it came from your heart. I've also heard through the grapevine, yes, news travels fast, even in a small town like Willow Creek, that you've been spreading kindness and inspiring others. That's incredible, buddy. You're living proof that it doesn't take fame or fortune to make a difference in the world. Just a kind heart and a willingness to take action. Keep being you, Ethan. And Lisa, you've clearly done an amazing job raising such a thoughtful and compassionate young man. You should both be very proud. Take care, and who knows, maybe I'll visit Willow Creek again someday. All the best. Dwayne." Ethan and his mom sat in stunned silence for a moment, the weight of Dwayne's words sinking in. Then slowly a smile spread across Ethan's face. "He remembered," he whispered, his voice filled with awe. Lisa hugged him tightly, her heart brimming with emotion. "Of course he did. How could anyone forget a boy like you?" The letter became a cherished keepsake, carefully placed in a frame and hung on the wall next to the photo of Ethan and Dwayne from that magical day in the treasure chest. Whenever Ethan felt uncertain or discouraged, he would look at the letter and remind himself of Dwayne's words. It doesn't take fame or fortune to make a difference, just a kind heart and a willingness to take action. As summer rolled in, Ethan's mission of kindness expanded beyond Willow Creek. Inspired by Dwayne's letter, he began brainstorming ways to connect with people outside of his small town. With the help of his mom and their family's old computer, Ethan created a website called Kindness Ripple. It was a simple platform where people could share stories of kind acts they had experienced or witnessed, and it encouraged visitors to start their own ripple of kindness in their communities. The site quickly gained traction, with stories pouring in from all over. A teacher in Ohio shared how her students had organized a fundraiser for a classmate in need. A nurse in California wrote about a patient who had knitted blankets for everyone in her ward. A truck driver from Texas recounted how a stranger had paid for his meal during a long haul. Ethan read each story with wonder, amazed at how much good there was in the world. He felt a profound sense of connection to people he had never met, united by the simple but powerful idea that kindness could bridge any distance and heal any wound. As the weeks passed, the website grew even larger, eventually catching the attention of a local news station. A reporter came to Willow Creek to interview Ethan and Lisa, marveling at how a young boy's determination to buy a gift for his mom had blossomed into a worldwide movement. The segment aired on television and quickly went viral, with people from all over the country praising Ethan for his initiative and heart. One evening, as Ethan sat at the kitchen table updating the website, his mom placed a hand on his shoulder. "You've done something amazing, Ethan," she said, her voice filled with pride. "Your dad would be so proud of you, too." Ethan looked up at her, his eyes shining. "I couldn't have done it without you, Mom. You're my inspiration." The two shared a quiet moment of reflection, the kind of moment that didn't need words to convey its depth. Outside, the first fireflies of summer blinked softly in the fading light, and the world felt full of promise. Then, just as they were about to turn in for the night, Ethan's phone buzzed with a notification. It was a message from an unfamiliar number, but the sender's name made Ethan's heart skip a beat. Dwayne Johnson. The message read, "Hey buddy, saw your story on the news. Couldn't be prouder of you. Let's catch up soon. I've got an idea I think you'll like. Stay awesome, Ethan." Ethan read the message 3 times, his excitement bubbling over. He had no idea what Dwayne's idea could be, but he knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning of his journey. And so, in the quiet town of Willow Creek, a young boy's mission to spread kindness continued to grow, touching lives far and wide. It was a reminder to everyone who heard his story that even the smallest gestures could create waves of change, and that the power of kindness was a force greater than any one person, a force that could transform the world, one act at a time. The buzz surrounding Ethan's story grew far beyond what anyone in Willow Creek could have imagined. His initiative, now known as Kindness Ripple, became a movement celebrated not just locally but globally. Ethan found himself in the spotlight in ways that were both exhilarating and overwhelming. His mom, ever his anchor, helped him balance his newfound responsibilities with the simplicity of being a 10-year-old boy. One evening, as the summer cicadas droned softly outside their modest home, Ethan received an unexpected email from a prominent tech company. The subject line read, "We'd love to support Kindness Ripple." With his mom's help, Ethan opened the email and read through its contents. The message was from a senior executive who had been moved by Ethan's story. The company wanted to sponsor the Kindness Ripple website, offering to upgrade its features and host it free of charge. They also wanted to create a mobile app to make it easier for people to share their acts of kindness on the go. Ethan's hands trembled as he turned to his mom. "They want to help us, Mom. They believe in what we're doing." Lisa smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "That's incredible, Ethan, but remember, this is your project. You get to decide what's best for it." The next day, they set up a video call with the tech company's team. Ethan, nervous but determined, explained his vision for the platform. He wanted it to remain simple, accessible, and free for everyone to use. The executives, impressed by his clarity and passion, assured him they would honor his wishes. Within weeks, the revamped website and app were launched, drawing thousands of new users from across the globe. As the platform grew, so did the variety of stories being shared. A teacher in Kenya wrote about how her students planted a community garden to help feed local families. A young girl in Japan shared a video of her playing the violin at a nursing home, bringing smiles to the elderly residents. A firefighter in Australia posted a picture of a koala he had rescued during a bushfire, captioned simply, "Every life matters." Ethan spent hours reading through these stories, often moved to tears by the sheer humanity they reflected. Each post felt like a window into another world, a reminder that kindness was a universal language that transcended borders, cultures, and circumstances. Inspired, he began brainstorming ways to turn Kindness Ripple into more than just a digital hub for stories. He wanted to see those ripples in action. One of his ideas was to create kindness kits, small packages filled with supplies that could help people start their own acts of kindness. Each kit would include items like thank you cards, small notebooks for journaling good deeds, and even handmade tokens that could be passed along to brighten someone's day. With the help of his mom, local volunteers, and a small grant from the tech company, Ethan began assembling these kits in their living room. When the first batch of 100 kits was ready, Ethan and Lisa invited their neighbors to a community event at the park. Dozens of people showed up, curious and eager to support the boy who had put their town on the map. Ethan stood on a small stage, holding a microphone that felt far too big for his hands. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady despite the butterflies in his stomach. "Kindness Ripple started with one small act, buying a gift for my mom. That day, someone helped me, and it changed my life. Now, I want to help others start their own ripples. These kits are just a small way to remind us all that even little actions can make a big difference." The crowd erupted into applause as Ethan handed out the kits, each one adorned with a handwritten note that read, "Pass the kindness forward." The event was a resounding success, sparking a wave of community-driven kindness projects. One family used their kit to bake cookies for the local fire station. A group of teens organized a litter cleanup at the nearby lake. Even Mr. Griggs, the usually stoic postman, surprised everyone by leaving cheerful notes in mailboxes along his route. As the weeks went by, Kindness Ripple became a household name, attracting the attention of schools, organizations, and even celebrities. Ethan received invitations to speak at events, from small-town gatherings to larger conferences in bustling cities. Though he was initially nervous about public speaking, he quickly discovered a natural talent for connecting with audiences. His message was simple, yet profound. You don't have to be a superhero to change the world. Just be kind, one small step at a time. One particularly memorable event was a youth summit in New York City. Ethan, now a seasoned speaker, stood on a grand stage in front of hundreds of young people from diverse backgrounds. As he shared his story, he noticed their faces light up with understanding and inspiration. When he finished, the audience gave him a standing ovation, and several kids approached him afterward to share their own ideas for spreading kindness. Among them was a boy named Javier, who lived in a rough neighborhood and had seen more hardship than most kids his age. "I want to start a kindness club at my school," Javier said, his eyes shining with determination. "A lot of kids feel alone, and I think this could help." Ethan grinned and gave Javier a high five. "That's an awesome idea. You can do it, and if you need any help, just let me know." The two exchanged contact information, and over the following months, Javier's Kindness Club became a beacon of hope in his community. They organized events like Buddy Days, where students paired up to make new friends, and Kindness Carnivals, where kids could participate in fun activities while learning about empathy and compassion. Ethan followed Javier's progress closely, proud to see how his ripple was inspiring ripples in others. It was a reminder of the power of connection, how even the smallest spark could light up the darkest corners. Meanwhile, back in Willow Creek, life continued with its quiet rhythm. Ethan cherished his time at home, finding solace in simple moments, playing board games with his mom, walking their dog along the snow-dusted trails, and curling up with a book on lazy Sunday afternoons. Despite the growing fame of Kindness Ripple, Ethan remained grounded, thanks to his mom's unwavering support and the close-knit community that had nurtured him. One snowy afternoon, as Ethan and Lisa decorated their Christmas tree, there was a knock at the door. Lisa opened it to find a delivery driver holding a large package. The return address was from California, and Ethan immediately recognized the name, Dwayne Johnson. Ethan eagerly tore open the package to reveal a beautifully wrapped box and a handwritten note. Inside the box was a limited edition replica of Dwayne's iconic wrestling championship belt, along with a smaller box containing a personalized plaque that read, "To Ethan, a true champion of kindness. Keep inspiring the world. Dwayne. Ethan held the belt in his hands, the weight of it both literal and symbolic. He looked up at his mom, his eyes glistening. I want to keep going, Mom. I want to make the world kinder, one ripple at a time. Lisa hugged him tightly, her heart swelling with love and pride. You already are, Ethan, and I'll always be right here, cheering you on. That Christmas, the glow of the tree lights seemed a little warmer, the laughter a little louder, and the love in their home a little brighter. For Ethan, the journey was far from over, but he knew one thing for certain. The best gifts in life were not those wrapped in paper and ribbons, but the connections forged through acts of kindness and the joy shared with those we hold dear. And so the boy who once walked into the treasure chest with $10 in his pocket continued to change the world, not through grand gestures or monumental achievements, but through the quiet, persistent power of kindness. His ripples stretched across oceans and continents, touching lives in ways he could never fully comprehend. Yet at the heart of it all, Ethan remained the same, just a young boy with a big heart, determined to make his mom proud and to spread a little light wherever he went. As the new year unfolded, Ethan's efforts with Kindness Ripple continued to evolve in unexpected and heartwarming ways. One day, as he was updating the website, he received an email from a teacher in a remote village in Nepal. The teacher explained how she had used stories from Kindness Ripple to inspire her students, encouraging them to find small ways to improve their community. Her class, made up of children who often walked miles to attend school, had started a project to repair the village's only well, ensuring everyone had access to clean water. Ethan read the email twice, his chest swelling with a mix of humility and awe. Mom, he called, his voice tinged with wonder. People all the way in Nepal are using Kindness Ripple to help their community. Lisa leaned over to read the message, her eyes widening as she absorbed the words. You're reaching people in places you've never even imagined, Ethan. That's incredible. The realization deepened Ethan's commitment to his cause. He began exploring ways to support projects like the one in Nepal. With the help of the tech company's sponsorship, he set up a new feature on the website, Ripple Grants. These small grants would fund community-driven kindness initiatives, allowing people from underserved areas to bring their ideas to life. Ethan was careful to emphasize that anyone could apply regardless of their age or location, as long as their project had the potential to spread kindness and create a positive impact. Applications poured in from all over the world. A group of teenagers in Brazil wanted to start a free tutoring program for younger kids in their neighborhood. A farmer in Kenya proposed building a small library for his village. A woman in Canada sought funds to distribute care packages to homeless individuals during the harsh winter months. Ethan reviewed each application carefully, often moved to tears by the passion and creativity of the applicants. Meanwhile, Ethan's life in Willow Creek remained as grounded as ever. He still helped his neighbors, aced his spelling tests, and spent time building snow forts with his friends. Yet, beneath the ordinary rhythms of his small-town life, he carried a sense of purpose that fueled his every action. One particularly bright spring day, Ethan stood in front of his school's assembly, sharing the latest updates about Kindness Ripple. He spoke with a quiet confidence, his voice filled with genuine enthusiasm. As he finished, the entire gym erupted in applause, and his classmates surged forward, eager to ask how they could get involved. Ethan's heart soared. He realized that despite the scale of his project, the most rewarding part of his journey was seeing how kindness could unite people, bringing them closer to one another and creating a world where hope and compassion thrived. His ripples, it seemed, were just beginning. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on a boy buying a gift for his mom in a story? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.